How you going? Today we're talking about Plazos and the Atomic Seeker jig heads. I've got 3 coloured plastics here. This one here imitates a naturally coloured bait fish. I'd use this in open blue water, and that's why I'd target kingies and pelagic like that. These two, they're coloured. You'd find fish or squid in structure, maybe coral reefs, and that's why I'd use these in places where I'm fishing a reef. This one is clear and brightly coloured. In darker water it becomes much more visible because of that murkiness. This one here is dark, so it's silhouetted in bright conditions, maybe in shallow water. It also has a nice fleck running through it, which when the light touches it and hits it, it refracts and reflects, and the fish get more visibility that way. We use the XOS range from the Seekers in a 6.0 because they work perfectly on the jerk shads. Jerk shads mean that the angler has to provide most of the action as opposed to wriggling or paddle-tailed lures. In a paddle tail, you can just let that lure sit there in the current and it'll attract the fish, whereas these, it all comes from the rod tip. Make sure that you choose a jig head that is appropriate for the conditions. Choose as light a jig head as possible because the slower it sinks means that it looks more realistic. Something that just sinks to the bottom very directly won't look realistic. Obviously, in more current, you'll need that heavier jig head just to get to the bottom, but if your target species is mid-water, then you're all over it. Alright, we're going to rig this Plazo. This one's clear, so it should be easy for you guys to see. You can see exactly where the jig head comes out naturally of the lure. So if I put it back here, it's going to bunch, or if I make it go there, it's not going to swim naturally. So you want it to be perfectly in line there. So I'm going to put a little dot where that was. So when I'm rigging, I can see exactly where I come out. When I'm putting it through, it needs to be straight and even so that you get that nice natural fall. So I'm going to pinch it first and make sure that I've entered in nice and straight. And I'm just going to follow, constantly looking at different angles. You can see, whoop, nearly went off. And that's wrapping naturally. I'm getting close to my mark. And I've got my mark there. Push that on, and you'll see I've got great hook exposure, enough tail, there's no bunching of the lure, it's on perfectly straight, and if you do that you won't fail at all with rigging your plastics. That's the way to go. That's the hot tip from me, mate. Good stuff.